Good morning, everyone. I'm Nikki Stanzione.
And I'm Kristen Van Dyke.
And this is New Mexico Style. Welcome to Tuesday. We're not going to make it a terrible Tuesday. We can make it a terrific Tuesday.
We have a lot of good stuff going on the show today. El Pinto, one of my favorites.
I know. So yummy. So yummy. And lots of fun things to talk about. And I was thinking of you last night because, you know, I don't know if you watched The Bachelorette, but I have to make a comment about this because usually, you know, the bachelors or the bachelorettes head to LA and they do this whole big thing and they go on these whimsical dates on helicopters and things that they'll never do in their real relationship together. And then they usually break up. Well, in this case, Emily Maynard, she's from, not South Carolina, she's from North Carolina, but she decided to bring the gentleman to North Carolina for the entire dating process because she has a daughter and she wanted to see what it would be like to do real life dating with these people, which makes perfect sense to me.
That makes a lot of sense, yes.
And they went to Greenbrier and they really talked about all the wonderful etiquette of the South and you know, she's such a pretty little blonde Southern girl and I thought, I bet Kristen can relate to this because, you know, there's certain etiquette that you have in the South and I like the fact that she's bringing the guys to her and maintaining who she is and not changing for the sake of this process. So it's actually a pretty interesting season so far.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch it. I'm sure I can definitely relate. You know, we're talking about the South. Like my cousin just got engaged, and so there's going to be this huge Southern wedding.
Oh gosh!
Wait till you get involved in one of those. I don't know. It gets a little bit.
Oh, you should
a little too much sometimes.
Between the Southern weddings and the Jersey weddings, they're pretty rough. I think we should just stick with New Mexico. In fact, this week we're really featuring why New Mexico is so incredible, and it's actually day 2 of our week-long series, Chasing the Fox.
Yeah, our face of Fox, Elias Gallegos, is traveling to central New Mexico to 5 undisclosed locations in 5 days. Yesterday he was in Rio Rancho, the city of Vision, but where is he today?
Good morning, Nikki and Kristen. No matter where you live, New Mexico inspires pride and passion. And if it's adventure you're looking for, you never have to look any further than your own backyard. And today, Chasing the Fox series continues, and we find ourselves in Nob Hill. Nob Hill is located just east of the University of New Mexico and is famous for its eclectic mix of locally owned businesses and has been described as the heart of Albuquerque's Route 66. Here's an interesting fact. Until the late 30s, when traveling east to west on Route 66, you had to take a right near Santa Rosa, drive all the way to Santa Fe, then turn south towards Albuquerque. But in 1937, Route 66 was straightened out, which allowed motorists to travel across the state right down Central Avenue, and almost overnight, Nob Hill was booming. Today, over 300 unique businesses make Nob Hill the place to be. Albuquerque itself has a rich and fascinating history, and I'm going to give you a quick history lesson. It was founded in 1706 as a Spanish colonial outpost, and it was called Ranchos de Albuquerque. Did you catch that first R? Over time, it was dropped. Apparently nobody could pronounce it. Albuquerque. Albuquerque was named in honor of Francisco Fernandez de la Cueva y Enriquez de Cabrera, the 8th Duke of Albuquerque. Get this, his friends called him Duke. In fact, the city's nickname is the Duke City. Albuquerque was a farming community and was known as the sheep herding center of the West. The town of Albuquerque was built in the traditional Spanish village pattern, a central plaza surrounded by government buildings, homes, and a church. This is known as Old Town. When the Atchison, Topeka, and the Santa Fe Railroad arrived in 1880, it bypassed the plaza, locating the passenger depot at the rail yards about 2 miles east of what quickly became known as Newtown. Merchants, mountain men, and settlers slowly filtered into Albuquerque, creating a major commercial center, which is now downtown Albuquerque. By 1900, Albuquerque quickly became a tidy southwestern town with modern amenities, including an electric street railway connecting Old Town to Newtown, and the newly established UNM campus located out of town on the East Mesa. 40 years later, the establishment of Kirtland Air Force Base, Sandia Base, and Sandia National Laboratories would make Albuquerque a key player in the atomic age. Albuquerque is the largest city in the state, with more than 500,000 people living here. In a few minutes, we'll show you how the quality of life, perks, and trendy hotspots that make Albuquerque the place to be and to have fun. So stay with us. This is day 2 of Chasing the Fox.
and he runs off.
He runs off. Well, we already caught you, Elias. Too late. That was actually really cute. It's interesting to hear. I mean, it's so much history to learn. I mean, obviously, he had so many facts, and it's really interesting to just hear all this history. I think it's so interesting how inconvenient it used to be to get from Santa Fe to Albuquerque, and how that has changed. I think that's one of the biggest changes, really, is just the convenience of going from place to place and all of the business. So really exciting. It'll be fun, and we'll talk more, of course, about Albuquerque throughout today's show. But first, let's check in with KRQE News 13 anchor Elizabeth Alvarez, who is also one of our very favorite Albuquerqueans now, officially.
I know. Kudos to Elias for that awesome pronunciation, that Spanish pronunciation.
Wasn't that good?
Albuquerque. Woo, it's tough. It's a tough one for even those of us who actually speak Spanish. Anyway, good morning, ladies. Good morning to you at home. We begin this morning telling you about a story that's somewhat disturbing. Listen to this. Police say a couple of healthcare workers hired to take care of an elderly widow apparently made themselves right at home. APD arrested Joanne Diaz, and they are still looking for Angelina Santillanes. Take a close look at her picture here. Cops say these two were robbing a 92-year-old woman for several years in her Foothills home. According to the criminal complaint, detectives say they found more than $17,000 worth of forged checks, $22,000 worth of jewelry stolen, and much more. Detectives have a hunch that these two may have done something like this to other patients in the past. We are learning this morning Albuquerque City Councilors did approve its $500 million city budget. Councilors were debating the bill last night, and some of the big things included in the budget is giving a 1% raise for city workers making less than $50,000 a year. The budget also is allocating about $2 million to APD for the department to buy new police cars. And we've also learned that this November, guess what? You're going to get to vote on the Paseo and I-25 reconstruction project to see if you want the city to spend $50 million to get the ball rolling on this project. The City Council agreed on that date last night. All right, Memorial Day weekend is the unofficial kickoff to summer. It's coming up this weekend. And it's also a time when families are headed out into the great outdoors to have a lot of fun and just relax. So some of you have actually wondered, what are the fire restrictions right now in the state? Well, here's News 13's David Romero with the info for you.
This is the last thing anyone wants to see. The forest going up in flames, all from a careless mistake. And the conditions are prime.
Right now we still look pretty dry across much of New Mexico. Dry and windy weather is typical for early summer, and that looks to continue through June.
Unfortunately, the bad timing of those conditions coincides with the time when many of us would like to be out and enjoying the forests. But don't worry, you may be in luck this weekend.
Right now we don't have any restrictions on public lands around New Mexico for the most part. At some New Mexico state parks, there may be some restrictions on campfires versus grilling, and so we recommend folks check ahead of time.
You can do that online at sites such as the New Mexico Fire Information website. If you do go out this weekend, you should treat your time in the forest as if there were restrictions on campfires and grilling. This is a crucial time to make sure even the smallest situations are avoided. For example, it was exhaust from an ATV that started the track fire near Raton last June and burned over 27,000 acres.
If you need to pull over into a developed area that doesn't have any tall grass or weeds.
Careful solutions like that could help ensure that forests can be enjoyed all summer long.
The small, simple, common sense things, that's what we need folks to remember as they're heading out this weekend.
David Romero, KRQE News 13.
You know, it is always good to be reminded about what the fire restrictions are, that's for sure. By the way, you can find a link to the New Mexico Fire Information website by going onto our website. It's krqe.com. Just look for this story under news links. All right, lastly, we have some startling information out this morning about a commonly prescribed antibiotics. A new study says that people who take Z-Paks are more likely to die within the first 5 days of using the drugs. Z-Paks help people with everything from sore throats to bronchitis. The Food and Drug Administration is looking into the study. Pretty alarming. It's just a study right now, but I say contact your doctor for sure if you have any questions about that. That does it for your Tuesday morning headlines. Be sure to catch Matt Morrow, Kristen Van Dyke, and me Every weekday morning on KRQE News 13, beginning at 4:30 a.m. Kristen, Nikki, back to you. Nikki, by the way, I love that dress.
Oh, thank you.
Perfect for summer. And I know Kristen's going to be talking about the weather because it's going to be downright hot today.
It is. It definitely is. Well, I got this at White House Black Market. Actually, very comfortable dress as well. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Very pretty.
Now, of course, you know I am just going crazy today because this is the day I wait for all year long. It's the end of American Idol Season 11. In fact, Season 11 is almost a wrap because the final two contestants are preparing for the biggest night of their lives.
Oh, yeah. Fox News correspondent Nicole Collins has the latest from Los Angeles.
I'm here outside the Nokia Theater where a showdown between two very different artists is set for tomorrow night in the American Idol Season 11 finale.
Inside, we have a fire in us and we're going to fight and battle each other.
Jessica Sanchez setting the stage for the American Idol finale when she goes head-to-head with Philip Phillips.
You know, top two right now, it's the most craziest things in the world.
The two talented singers sporting very different styles. Sanchez is the tiny 16-year-old from San Diego with a big diva voice. Phillips, the laid-back jam band Southern rocker in his early 20s.
I think that's good for America. You know, they can really decide on who they really want instead of like debating and like dividing the vote. So it's a fair competition, I think.
A competition is exactly what it is. Despite being friends off stage, the two know what's at stake, each taking a different approach to handling the finale pressure.
You can't just be like, oh, well, whatever happens, happens. So I'm definitely going to fight for it, and I'm going to fix every little flaw in my songs.
Oh, there's not really any pressure, man. It's just the pressure is not messing up for me. You know, I'm not worried about, you know, if I don't win it, it's okay. If I do win it, that's awesome. You know, it's about having fun.
Sanchez and Phillips get their last chance to win over tens of millions of viewers in a 2-hour performance episode Tuesday night, with the winner announced on Wednesday. In Los Angeles, Nicole Collins, Fox News.
They're both so cute. I love them both. I think I still might be leaning toward Phil Phillips. But just because Sanchez is so cute, I feel badly not pulling for her.
It's going to be a tough one, and I just want to remind everybody, if you are a regular watcher of Idol, you know it's normally on Wednesdays and Thursdays. It is tonight, Tuesday, and Wednesday is the big grand finale tomorrow night when they crown the winner and crown.
Wow.
Well, you know what I mean.
Okay, all right, prediction. Can you, or do you need to,
I need to watch tonight. I'll tell you my prediction tomorrow.
After tonight?
Going into it, I think Philip Phillips is the only one who's never been in the bottom two, so he could be the winner based on the voting process, how it's gone so far. However, based on voice alone, I think Jessica
Well,
Sanchez.
you know, you tend to have like a lot more girl voters, and women tend to vote more, I think, when it comes to American Idol. And is that...
Exactly.
So are they all more women leaning toward, or girls too, towards Phil?
Well, and you know, this is what you also have to think about, though, is that on these shows, the runner-up has done exceptionally well. You know, Clay Aiken was a runner-up, and you know, Adam Lambert was a runner-up. Exactly. They're both winners, and they're both going to have an amazing career. I cannot wait for tonight. And in addition to that show tonight is also Glee, and Glee, the finale of the season. We are definitely coming back for another season next year, but things will be really changed next year because a lot of the students will graduate.
Graduating.
So it's going to be a great television night. Clearly, I will be home watching TV tonight. Yes. I cannot wait. And actually, it'll be pretty hot, so I'll need the air conditioning, right?
Yeah, you'll be cranking that AC down, down, down. It's going to be really hot around here.